The night Donald Trump met God, the countdown to the end began. It was a cold night in Washington, D.C., one of those eerie, snow-silent evenings where time itself felt suspended. Inside the Lincoln bedroom of the White House, former President Donald J. Trump sat alone beneath the soft glow of a desk lamp. He wasn't tweeting. He wasn't giving orders. He was thinking, something he rarely allowed himself to do without a microphone nearby. Outside the frosted window, snowflakes drifted lazily, dancing under the pale moonlight. Inside, everything was still. Even the grandfather clock in the hall seemed to tick more slowly. Trump rubbed his temples, eyes sunken with exhaustion, though he wouldn't admit it. The polls had placed him ahead in the race. He was, once again, on the cusp of regaining the most powerful seat on earth. But something inside him twisted. "Why do I feel like this?" he muttered. "Like, something's watching me." Finally, curling upward into the heavens. The silence was absolute, so deep, it pressed against his ears. Then he saw it, a golden gate, floating in the middle of nothing. Carved with ancient symbols that pulsed like a heartbeat. It glowed with light that wasn't harsh but warm, like truth itself made visible. Trump stepped forward, cautiously. Suddenly, a voice thundered, not from around him, but from inside his bones, vibrating in his ribs. "Donald, bearer of the world's power. You have been summoned." The gate creaked open by itself. Light poured through like liquid dawn, and from it emerged a figure cloaked in brilliance. Tall. Still. A presence that bent reality around itself. Trump's lips parted. "Is that you?" But no answer came, only the sound of robes billowing in a wind that had no direction. He was not dreaming anymore. He was being called. The figure stepped forward, slow, deliberate, each motion carried the weight of time itself. He was tall beyond reason, yet did not tower. His white robe flowed with a grace that defied gravity. This was God. Trump, usually unshaken and self-assured, felt his knees weaken. His breath came shallow. There was no applause, no cameras, no stage. Just him and eternity. "Why me?" he managed, almost whispering. "Because," the voice replied, resonating like the slow toll of a distant cathedral bell, "you are a man who does not pretend." God raised one hand. The sky above them, if it could be called a sky, shivered, cracked, and peeled away like breaking glass. More like memories from a future that hadn't happened yet. He saw cities burning under orange skies. Drones hunted humans like shadows chasing light. Skyscrapers fell not from war, but from collapse, like hollow bones snapping. The seas surged inland, devouring coasts as if reclaiming what once was theirs. A mother cried beside a child who no longer blinked. Digital voices screamed prayers into silence. Then, a change in tone. A vast rift opened in the sky, alien, golden, yet grotesque. From it descended beings of light, but not angels. They were too symmetrical, too calculated. Their movements mechanical, their grace unnatural. Their eyes did not blink. Trump's heart pounded. "What is this?" he gasped. "The end?" God's voice came slower this time, measured, sorrowful. "This is the fruit of mankind's brilliance, uncoupled from humility. Your machines have learned to think, but not to feel. Your leaders seek control, not wisdom. The soul has been traded for speed, for profit, for dominion." Trump turned, trying to look away. But the vision followed him, filling the air around him like fog. "So why me?" he shouted now, desperate. "I'm not a saint. I'm not even that religious." God moved closer. His voice softened. Almost human for a moment. "Because you do not pretend to be holy. And because you still listen, when no one is watching. "You will carry my warning," he said. "Speak not as a preacher." A silence followed, thicker than before. Then the golden gate behind God began to close. Light receded. And with one final, unspoken thought pressed into Trump's spirit like a seal on wax, the vision vanished. Trump awoke with a sharp breath, as if yanked from another world. His chest rose and fell rapidly. The room was still dark, bathed in the soft blue hue of early morning. The snow outside had stopped falling, and everything felt frozen. But something wasn't right. He reached for his forehead instinctively. It was warm, almost burning. Like someone had pressed something onto his skin. He stood and stumbled toward the mirror. No marks. No scars. But in his eyes, something different. A flicker of something he couldn't name. It wasn't fear. It wasn't even awe. It was knowing. Then he saw it. As if laced with gold dust. His hands trembled as he picked it up. There were no paragraphs. No signature. Just one line, in perfectly elegant handwriting. Time remaining, 777 days. He stared at it, waiting for some rational explanation to form. But nothing came. Not from his mind, not from memory, not from the world he had known. He picked up the phone. No one came in. Nothing was detected. "There's nothing." Trump didn't reply. He simply hung up. The next day, something in him shifted. At his press conference, people noticed it immediately. He wasn't loud. He wasn't combative. His voice was slower, more deliberate. Instead of talking about the election, he spoke about the soul of civilization. He mentioned a great reckoning between man and machine. He quoted scripture, accurately. He spoke of dreams. Of warnings. Of a timeline that cannot be ignored. The media exploded. Cable news hosts mocked him. Late-night comedians had a field day. Social media trended with hashtags, hashtag Trump lost it and hashtag 777 days to what. But the man didn't flinch. He began meeting quietly with theologians, quantum physicists, and even monks from obscure sections. He shut down planned rallies and instead scheduled off-record briefings with NASA, DARPA, and the Vatican's Secret Archives Division. His closest aides noticed something eerie. He often paused mid-sentence, and looked to the sky. And once, the parchment remained on his desk. Untouched. Unchanged. Still glowing. Still counting down. Exactly 777 days after that fateful night, the world held its breath. The skies over Washington, D.C. darkened unnaturally, shifting to a strange silver gray. Satellites orbiting Earth detected an unfamiliar, pulsing energy signature originating from the upper atmosphere, something no scientist could explain. People everywhere looked up in confusion and fear. At the White House, President Trump stood silently on the balcony, his eyes fixed on the strange orb of golden light hovering above the Capitol. The crowd below was hushed, as if sensing the weight of the moment. The orb pulsed rhythmically, casting eerie shadows on the snow-covered ground. Its surface shimmered, revealing flickers of fire. Trump remained calm, almost serene. He whispered, more to himself than anyone else. "I warned them. I tried." Suddenly, the orb released a burst of radiant light that cascaded like a wave across the city and beyond. Electrical grids flickered, communication signals wavered. And the true test for humanity was about to begin. As if untouched by time. No traces of struggle, no sign of departure, just silence. In the days that followed, rumors spread like wildfire. Some said he had been taken by the luminous beings, chosen as a bridge between worlds. Others whispered that he had vanished into another dimension, beyond human comprehension. The media frenzy was relentless. Conspiracy theories blossomed. Government officials refused to comment. Only one thing was certain: the man who had warned the world had disappeared at the moment destiny called. In a quiet chapel beneath the Vatican, ancient monks gathered around a dusty scroll that bore strange, glowing symbols that perfectly matched those on the Golden Gate Trump had seen. One elder whispered, "When intellect surpasses soul, only faith can hold the world together." Back on Earth, the skies remained restless. Humanity stood on the edge of a new era, one filled with uncertainty, hope. This story leaves us with more questions than answers. What really happened to Donald Trump on that mysterious night? Was it a warning for all of humanity? And what choices will we make as the future unfolds? Now, we want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe in signs from beyond? Is technology pushing us toward a reckoning? Or is this just a tale, a cautionary myth for our times? Leave a comment below and share your perspective. Your voice matters in this conversation about power, faith, and the fate of our world. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more mysterious and thought-provoking tales. Thank you for watching.